Today, we're back here in Ellensburg, and we're talking about everything you need to know about Ellensburg, Washington. Welcome back to our channel, Living in Washington State. If you're new here, I'm Joe, and our real estate-based channel focuses on highlighting the lifestyle of living in Washington State.
My name is Josh Martin.
Jesse.
Angelo.
I'm Gary.
Student here, not exactly a local.
I've been in Ellensburg since 2014.
I've lived in Ellensburg for 10 years now.
My daughter was a year old and we've had three more kids since being here.
I think something that somebody really needs to know about Ellensburg.
They should know that Ellensburg has a lot of resources. It's not difficult to make connections and find the resources that you need.
I found out about Ellensburg. It's very windy here.
It's really windy. You get used to it real quick and it doesn't bother you after a certain point.
You gotta be really quick to sign your kids up because there's one place that does swim lessons.
In winter, it's really cold.
One really cool thing about Ellensburg is just it continues to grow.
It's growing with a lot of young families, so there's just a ton of opportunity to get plugged in, make connections.
If you stay up remotely late, like even past 9 p.m., most of the restaurants are going to be closed.
I wish they had like a bowling rink here or like an arcade, like Round One or something like that here.
There's a lot of movement, a lot of motion in town. There's a lot of up and coming things that I've seen in the past couple of years.
Kind of boring. Not really much to do here. There's a lot to do here, even though it seems like there might not be.
Especially if you love the outdoors.
But it's small enough that I feel like we were really pleasantly surprised at how easy it was to find community.
It's friendly, so it's got this level of camaraderie to it, and so there's almost no excuse to get to know your neighbor.
I know they have like a club for like 21 and up, but like they should have one for like 8, 9, 19, whatever. Yeah, so everybody can go and stuff like that.
People are more willing to just chat and make intentional connections.
Finally, there's just really great people here. I've made some really great friends and know a lot of really nice people.
Everyone here is just a lot more friendly. The pace is a lot slower.
Got all the outdoor amenities that everyone is looking for.
Best skiing and mountain biking in the Pacific Northwest, in my opinion.
When it's like spring, it gets really hot and a lot of people go to like the pond over there and hang out and shit.
I would really encourage someone to move here to Ellensburg. I've been here for 10 years and I've really fallen in love with the place and the people here and just the environment, and I don't see myself moving anytime soon.
We didn't think, when we moved here, it was a temporary plan. We didn't have family here or anything, so we never had plans to root down here, but it's won us over.
An awesome place to enjoy in the summertime here in Ellensburg is Irene Reinhardt Riverfront Park. Some people may know it as People's Pond. It's a great place to host a picnic, have a barbecue, play some beach volleyball, sit by the water, put your paddleboard in. We love it here, and you would too. And we're on one of the fun trails that leads over to the pond, and it's alongside the Yakima right over there. If you are looking for something to do on a beautiful day in Ellensburg, it's really hard to beat. It's a pretty shaded path. As you can see, we're not in direct sunlight right now, but it's very beautiful, very calm. And even on a Saturday, it's not too busy in the evening right now. So if you're looking for something to do, this is highly recommended. This trail is really oriented towards families. I'll show you, there are some signs that really are cool illustrations for kids. Something to know about Ellensburg is that the Yakima River flows adjacent the city on the other side of the freeway, but it really makes an awesome environment. There's a ton of vegetation, like all these trees, and that's why we get great hikes along the river. And if you're into fly fishing or just enjoying water, Ellensburg is actually highly underrated. There's coffee shops, I feel like everywhere. I'm at D&M Coffee downtown. It's one of my favorite places. It's pretty picturesque. It's an old building. No, they're not a sponsor of this video. I just happen to like this place. Now, obviously, I can't tell you everything you need to know about a city in one video, but I'm gonna do my best coming from a perspective of someone who lives here and knows a lot about the town. And I went to college here, stayed here. Now I'm raising my family and run a few businesses. Honestly, before I came to Ellensburg, like I talked about in my pros and cons video, that if you haven't seen, check it out. It's bullet points on things that I think are good about Ellensburg and bad about Ellensburg. But on that video, I talked about before I came to live here, I drove through and past Ellensburg many, many times. Didn't know much about it, except for the fact that there were gas stations and fast foods down by I-90. Beyond that, I never really explored the town until I came here to play baseball at Central Washington University, and clearly 7 years later, haven't left. To start with, we have to dive a little bit into Ellensburg history. So Ellensburg, back before it was ever an official town, was a little place called Robber's Roost, where there was a little market, a little store, and think very Clint Eastwood-esque. We're talking mid-1800s. Fast forward decades later, the town of Ellensburg was founded here at this location. And for a while, there was a lot of growth. Settlers were coming in and farming, and that's where you get that history of the cowboys and the ranchers here in Ellensburg, because they've been here for close to 150 years, which kind of is one side of the story of this city that has two cultures within such a small town. I'll try to briefly talk about it. Ellensburg was up for the bid of the capital of Washington State in the late 1800s. July 4th, 1889, there was a great fire that consumed most of downtown Ellensburg, and it destroyed pretty much the entire location, but it also destroyed a lot of the hopes of Ellensburg becoming the state capital. The vote was later, and eventually, as we know, Olympia, Washington became the capital, and Ellensburg didn't. But it is interesting to note that 2 years later, there was a university founded known as Central Washington University. That has really changed the trajectory of what Ellensburg is today. So like I said, you have the ranching, the farmers, the cowboys that have been here from the mid-1800s to all of a sudden at the turn of the century, you had Central Washington University founded. Today, population of Ellensburg is 19,000 people. While at Central Washington University, there are 11,500 students and 3,200 employees as of 2022. So that is crazy, because you got to think of that proportionally. Half of the town, when school's in session, are either students or work for the university. That plays a huge role in the dynamic of the economy. But it's very interesting to know, if you are unfamiliar with Ellensburg, so much of the economy is driven from that. So in summary, because of the interesting, rich history that Ellensburg has of being an Old West town that eventually got a bid to become the capital, that later the university was founded, the college town atmosphere, but it's really a dichotomy of the old ranching families that live here. And now, in the past 10, 20 years, you have this increase of development that is happening. It's really a three-dimensional situation when you have all these different parties as far as what the current atmosphere is like. When talking to a local of Ellensburg, are you part of the university? Are you old ranching family? Or are you a new West Sider? Call them coasties here. I think this sheds a lot of good light on that question. It's something that you should know about Ellensburg that I definitely didn't know even after living here for a while. The other thing to really get a good grasp of what Ellensburg is like is it sits in Kittitas County. As you can see, Kittitas County is adjacent to King County, but they could not be any more different as far as population density. This is going to give you everything you need to know as a perspective. So you have King County, which has 2,260,000 people that live in that county, where you have 45,000 people live in Kittitas County. Right there tells you everything you need to know about the fact that there is such a difference in population density. And that naturally creates culture shock for people that are from Western Washington, specifically King County, where there's over 1,000 people per square mile. And you just jump right across the mountains and you come over here and there's 19 people per square mile. That means that there's 50 times more people living in King County than there are in Kittitas County. The numbers don't lie here. That is drastically different and plays a huge role. So I do find it funny when people talk about, oh, Ellensburg is turning into Western Washington. When you actually look at the numbers, it is such a small percentage of growth that has actually happened in Ellensburg. There's really nothing to complain about compared to what Western Washington is. And I understand those who have lived here and have moved here, in fact, and had generational farms or whatnot that love the culture of the small town, rural America. And I think it's important to note that drastic difference of millions of people in the neighboring county. Pintas County could never expand to that, at least in our lifetime. If you are passionate about maintaining the unique culture of Ellensburg, then that is something that we can do now as we are on the ground floor, as it were, for what the future holds for this town. Something else that you should know about Ellensburg is just that there are a lot of things to do if you're not seeking the urban convenience. And what I mean by that is shopping, movie theaters. What else do people in the city do? I'm just a country guy, so I don't really know. Anyway, if you're not interested in that, then Ellensburg is a wonderful hub as far as outdoor activities. It's something you should need to know. You have the Yakima River, there is the pond, there are nature hikes, there are mountain hikes, ATVing, dirt biking, if you like hunting, if you like fishing, backpacking, camping, all that outdoor activities. This is such an incredible location. This is coming from someone that grew up in Snoqualmie, another awesome location if you're seeking outdoor adventure. But Ellensburg brings it to a whole other level. You're looking for the lifestyle. If you want to go see what a ranch looks like, what a farm looks like. These are real 1,000-acre properties, families that have had a foothold farming in this valley for over 100 years. It's very cool to be able to experience that. Everyone loves to go look at cows. That's kind of something Ellensburg's known as Cow Town. The other thing is the rodeo is huge here. They don't call it Rodeo City for nothing. Restaurants are pretty good. As far as a small town goes. I think that it's proportionally better than most towns with the same population, just due to the fact that the university is here, purely because parents come in on weekends and everyone goes out to eat when you come and you visit your family at school. So the economy is definitely intertwined with the college, which brings out good food. I personally have some favorite restaurants of my own, and I'm thinking that we're going to be able to do a video that is my favorite restaurants in Ellensburg. Something else you should know about Ellensburg is the real estate market is very unique. I consider Ellensburg a prime location. If you want to invest in a place, you don't want to invest in a place that the boom has already happened. You want to invest in a place that the boom will come. And I think that the writing is on the wall. The reason for that is a lot of factors. But something that comes to mind for me is how I was just talking about how the college is over half of the population when school is in session here in Ellensburg. That really creates this interesting environment. If you're looking to buy a home here, it means that you have students, obviously there's a lot of students that are on campus, but you have students that live off campus, which is usually sophomores through seniors, and they look for housing. And so you have created this interesting bubble in the market of Ellensburg. Creates a different dimension to a normal town without a university in it that plays such a big role compared to the population of it. But what it does is you have these homes that are purchased by investors that are rented out for students. It's not that it's overvalued, it's just that it's highly valued due to the fact that it can create income and has for many years for people that are interested in investing in a place where you know there's going to be consistent tenant needs. That if your kid is coming to Central Washington University, that maybe you should look at purchasing a home here, and then the student attending Central would be able to rent out and get tenants, then sell, make some equity on that purchase instead of just renting. There's people that do that. There's obviously families that live here, that work here within the community and the local economy that purchase homes. So there's a little bit more competition when it comes to Ellensburg, which you can kind of see that compared to Wenatchee or Yakima. They are completely different markets, and Ellensburg is its own little sub-bubble. It was very interesting to break down of like, man, maybe it's because of the university that prices are just different here in Ellensburg. Now, it's interesting to note that in the past, Ellensburg didn't explode with growth, and I wouldn't consider it an explosion yet. We are just seeing the foreshadowing of lots of development. We have big builders such as D.R. Horton coming in here. People are seeing the allure of what Ellensburg is, especially those trying to escape the traffic in the city, and they're coming here to escape to the sunshine that we get to have. That's another thing that drives up real estate costs in this area, is the fact that in the past 10, 20 years, there's a lot of people coming in, a lot. It's not a crazy amount, but comparatively, Ellensburg is experiencing a lot of growth, more traffic, more development. So when you look at the history of Ellensburg, things were pretty stagnant for many decades. But in the past 15 years, things have drastically increased. And like I had shown in a prior video, the increase in housing even 7 years ago is drastic. Obviously that's supply and demand, and then you have to calculate inflation in current years, and that's everywhere. You look in Washington State, the value of homes has increased as people are seeking to invest in physical assets. That's not just locally in Washington State, that's throughout the whole nation. As there may be uncertainty about what the future holds, people can be pretty certain that you can purchase land and that you can keep it. There's a lot of factors that go into housing markets, the price of homes and whatnot, but when you do look at inflation and what that has done, you can't say that that hasn't contributed to the fact that housing price has increased. The only problem is locals struggle with keeping up with maybe property taxes that have lived here for a long time as property values increase, and they may be on a fixed income. So that's very difficult, as the fact that wages or fixed income, retirement have not increased to the amount that development is coming. So there does need to be a solution, but that is an interesting fact to know about Ellensburg and the real estate here. Not only would I suggest you invest, I personally invest here in Ellensburg. My wife and I, at a young age, have had the opportunity to partner and invest in real estate here in Ellensburg, and it's something that I would suggest you to do. I suggest all my friends to do it. We're definitely seeking deals and purchasing because we know that an inflationary hedge, and also just develop long-term security and wealth for your family, is to purchase real estate, not just real estate that sits, but real estate that does provide residual income. There will be a great wave of increase in development, whether we like it or not, and you might as well step in and ride that wave and surf it. That is my encouragement to you if you are interested in purchasing, especially passive. Like I said, there's a lot of reasons that the rental market in Ellensburg is exceptional for landlords. As far as selling your property, you sell your property by marketing it well and being realistic that today is not 2022, that we live in a market that it really depends on what your goals are for selling. We have lots of experience. Our team has been in business since 1998. We cover 16 counties throughout Washington State. In summary, something that you should know is that I would invest in Ellensburg. So I encourage you to consider it carefully. If you have any questions or you want to get in touch with our team, we would love to hear from you and help you reach your real estate goals. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out and it helps other people discover living in Washington State.
Hi, I'm Heidi Bright, the founder at BigDogRealty.com. And thanks for watching our channel, Living in Washington State. If you have ideas on areas you'd like us to cover with content like this, we'd love to hear them. If you have a property that you're thinking of buying or selling and you'd like a no obligation consultation with us, we'd love to hear from you on that as well. So thank you so much again for watching our channel, Living in Washington State. Hope to hear from you, and take care.